Okay, lesson five. Now, we Filipinos always fear, we always say it's nosebleed when you're talking to people in English, right? But let's face the reality of it. If you're if you're wanting to join the VA community, the VA world, you always have to use English as a medium of communication because it is the foundation of a successful business relationship, especially in being a VA. And in this lesson, we'll learn about the key elements of good communication and how you can actually master them. So, why is it important? Think of communication as a bridge between you and your client. By by communicating effectively, you're able to understand their needs, deliver your work effectively, because there will be times where you will be asked to explain your work, you know, the trends, results that you produce, right? And in doing so, you're also able to build strong relationships. Imagine how you will collaborate with a client if you're not able to communicate well. So I'm not saying that you have to be excellent, you have to be perfect. You just have to be able to communicate well. Also, lastly, very important, by communicating well, you're able to prevent misunderstandings. You're able to prevent things that we don't like. First, rework, right? It's when you produce a certain result, you're done with a project, but at the end of it, the client says that this is not what I expected because you did not ask or did not pay attention to what they really needed, right? So we don't want rework. And when it comes to that, it puts in a little bit of friction, unpleasantness that we don't like when working with the clients because that can, damage that trust in that relationship. So always communicate well. If you're unsure, ask questions. Make sure that the expectation is clear from the very beginning before you start working on a project with a client. Now, the key elements of good communication, there are probably going to be some more if you go to Google. First, just be clear and concise, right? It doesn't have to be convoluted, right? It doesn't have to be, you don't have to beat around the bush. Communicate what you need, communicate what you expect. Your client will do the same thing with you. You have to see each other eye to eye on the same level. Secondly, actively listen. When we say actively listen, it only means one thing: listen and understand. If you don't understand, ask questions until you are clear on it. Be professional, remain calm. There will be times when you will be negotiating with clients, right? Regarding a result, the number of hours that's needed. Let's say, for example, a client asks you to do a specific project which you feel like will take 10 hours. Client tells you, do it in 4 hours, right? And you know for a fact that you won't be able to deliver it in 4 hours. So what do? You negotiate. You list down the steps that's needed to fulfill the task, and you help the client understand why it is like that. You also have to be able to do it in a written way and in a verbal way, right? So, in a written way, we have a lot of tools nowadays that can help you with this. An example of that is ChatGPT or Gemini, right? Verbal communication, this is something that you would have to do either over the phone, in Slack, in Zoom, in Skype, or another tool that your client prefers or is using. So to ensure that you're communicating effectively, first, always ask clarifying questions. Be clear, right? If you're unsure about something, ask. It's better to ask than to make a mistake and, you know, work on the project again. Why? Because you're going to be spending twice the time and only going to be paid once. That is sad. That's a waste of your time. All right. Always think of your time as well. Second, provide regular updates. When you have to communicate how you're progressing on a specific project. Say, for example, if you're working on a project in phases, if it requires 4 phases to complete a project over the course of 3 months, you have to communicate. You can't just go to the client after the second month and tell them, I'm still in phase one. That's not going to work. Your client will not appreciate it, right? So if you're done early, communicate it, right? Especially if you're done with phase one and phase two on the first month alone, communicate it. They will love it. All right. Third, use project management tools such as you have Trello that's for free. Asana, I'm not sure if it's still free. Monday.com is free for, limited use. You also have Google Workspace, which is absolutely free. You know, use a tool that works best for you. If you're the person who likes notes, notepad, post-it, yeah, sure, do it, right? Use Google Docs. If you're an Excel type of person, use Google Sheets, right? If you like, colors and stuff, you like you like it visually appealing because that works for you, try Trello or Monday.com. This is used to ensure that you are on top of the project, to stay organized, and to be able to communicate effectively with your clients. Nowadays, Google Workspace, Trello, Asana, Monday.com, you can even collaborate with your clients there. You can ask them to join the workspace so that they see what you are doing. They see where you are at real time. Lastly, be proactive. If you anticipate a potential problem or a roadblock, communicate it with your client and ask questions on how you can prevent them, right? Again, your clients will appreciate this if you are more proactive rather than when you get to that stage and you tell them, yeah, you know what? I've seen this a few weeks ago, but I didn't tell you, right? So why? Why only now? There you go. All right. So just a practice exercise for practicing communications. Pay attention to your communication in daily life. Now, we communicate daily to anyone and everyone, right? Practice actively listening and talking to your friends and family. Now, if you're, if you really want to do it consciously, um, what worked for me, so I mean, I just wanted to share that I used to work in the BPO space, the BPO industry for quite a number of years. But when I was still on the phones, taking in calls, I would go to a corner where it's quiet and I would read my scripts out loud. Why? Because that's the only time I would hear myself and I'm able to correct myself while I'm doing my scripts. Nowadays, you have a lot of tools to record yourself, whether that be on your phone. Your phone has a video recorder, right? Record yourself, listen to yourself, practice a set of interviews, free interview questions online, do that. Or if you have a buddy, you can also call each other in Zoom, pretend to be a client asking questions, and the other way around. So they can also critique how you sound, what words you use, right? And again, practice makes permanence always. Keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. Just do it.